Good morning, good morning, everybody. I want to say good morning, praise the Lord, and welcome to another day, another edition of the episode of our Good Morning Grief Devotional. We are so grateful and thankful to have this opportunity to come to you on this fabulous, phenomenal, fantastic Friday to lead you today in our grief devotion. We made it, y'all. God has blessed us to make it through another week, to lead us into another weekend. And I don't know about you, but I am grateful for it. I am happy about it. And I am so looking forward to everything that God has in store for us. And so I want to say good morning. I want to say welcome. I want to let you know that this is the daily grief devotional that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. Just in case you don't know, you may be asking the question, well, what is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how it is expressed on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. And that's why we say good morning, because mourning is a good thing. Mourning is a great thing. And we are grateful for this opportunity to lead you this morning into this devotional effort. And so I want to say good morning. I want to say welcome into this place. Welcome into this space as we continue to help you to navigate through your grief. Let's get it cracking, y'all. Today is day 90. We're going to talk about divine momentum. Divine momentum. Our grief quote today says, "The beauty of the unexpected lies within the surprise of the momentum, not only at its tipping point, but also within all the moments waiting." The beauty of the unexpected lies within the surprise of the momentum, not only at its tipping point, but also within all the moments waiting. Yeah, I love the word momentum. John C. Maxwell, who is a leadership guru, he talks about the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. One of those laws is the law of the big mo, or the law of momentum, right? Because one of the hardest things is for us to get started. It's just to get started. But once you get some momentum, once you start gaining ground, once you start moving forward, although it was hard to get started initially, once you get some momentum and you moving ground and you moving forward, it's like you feel like nothing can stop you, right? You get that momentum behind you, and you get 1 day and 2 days and a week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks and a month behind you. You feel as if you're progressing, you're moving, you're gaining ground. This is why momentum is so important. It's always hard to go to the gym initially. It's hard to get up. It's hard to go to the gym. But once you did 1 day, you're like, whew, I worked out. I did 1 day. You go back another day, whoo, I did good. You go back a third day, whoo. And what happens is oftentimes it's the momentum that keeps us going. Think about it. When you're running, it's hard to stop. It's the momentum that keeps you going. When you are a car, right, and you hit the brakes, you can hit the brakes all you want, but you still gonna skid because it's the momentum that keeps you going. You've seen movies with trains, and they hit the brakes on the train, and even though you'd have hit the brake for it to stop, the momentum keeps it. The momentum keeps it going forward. The enemy be trying to shut me up sometime. It's the momentum that keeps it going forward. So momentum is so powerful. Momentum is so important. Momentum is, I'm telling y'all, momentum is a great thing. We're going to talk about divine momentum on today as it relates to your grief journey. Let's get into it. Actively expressing our grief sets it in motion. Pause right there. Actively expressing our grief sets it in motion. How do we do actively expressing our grief? You got to remember, grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how it is expressed on the outside. How do you express your grief? Actively. We don't suppress it, we express it. So grief has to be, you have to actively mourn. You have to actively mourn. You have to actively mourn. That is so important. It is so imperative that you actively mourning. So actively expressing our grief. What does that do? It sets it in motion. And I know, y'all, I know it's hard because we don't want to face it. We don't want to address it, so we suppress it. We don't want to face it, so we evade it. We escape it. We don't want to feel. We don't want to deal with it because we don't want to feel, so we don't ever want to heal. We never want to start the process. We never want to talk about it. We never want to visit how we feel. We never want to get into it. We never want to express ourselves. We don't want to talk about the event. We don't want to talk about how we feel. So when we do all of that, when we take that stance, we are not actively expressing our grief. We're not actively mourning because we're suppressed, and that's where we get in trouble. But actively expressing our grief sets it in motion. It creates a sense of movement and change. I'm moving. There's movement. There's change. When there is enough movement, here it is, we experience divine momentum. When there is enough movement, maybe we just ain't had enough movement, right? Because when there is enough movement, guess what we experience? We experience divine momentum, which is the feeling that even though we are still grieving and torn apart, we are headed in the right direction. We are on a roll, baby. Come on. Divine momentum, even though we are still grieving and we're still torn apart, guess what? We are headed in the right direction. We're headed in the right direction. Yes, I'm still grieving. Yes, I'm still torn apart. Yes, this still hurts like hell. But guess what? I'm headed in the right direction. That's what divine momentum is. And you want to get into a place where you are actively mourning. You want to get into a place where you are headed in the right direction. You want to get into a place to where you are moving, you are gaining ground, you are moving forward. Because where you are now, you could be stuck, you could be stalled, you can be stagnant, right? You are stuck, you're stalled, you're stagnant because you're not actively mourning. It's just like, I want to liken it to a physical exercise. If you need to shed some weight, or you need to put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle, or you're trying to lose 10, 15 pounds of weight, guess what? As long as you're stuck, stalled, stagnant, and you stop, you will make no progress, right? But when you start the process, when you get some momentum, when you get active, come on, you get active, you gain momentum, you're moving forward in your journey, you're gaining ground. Small steps lead to great distances, right? And after a while, you sweat, you working out, you eating good, you lost a pound, you lost two. Oh my God, this is so good. It's so phenomenal. I'm gaining ground. I'm doing good. I lost the third one. I lost the fourth one. Oh, I gained one back. Oh, I tightened it back up. I'm moving forward. You're gaining momentum. Now you're excited. And I'm losing inches, and this thing is working. And the more momentum you get, right? Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up, right? If you feel as if nothing can stop you because you got the law of momentum on your side. And for a lot of people, it's just getting started. It's just getting started. It's having the conversation. It's making the reach out. It's talking to a therapist, talking to a counselor, talking to a coach, talking to your pastor, but getting inside a grief group is just making the first move, right? Is it painful? Yeah, it's going to be painful. But guess what? It's going to be painful staying the way you are. You got the pain of change and you got the pain of remaining the same. Both of them are going to be painful, but one of them leads to healing. The other one leaves you right where you are, right? So it's the law of momentum. It's the law of the big mo. Once you get started, I'm trying to tell you, you're headed in the right direction. Actively expressing our grief sets it in motion. It creates a sense of movement and change. When there is enough movement, we experience divine momentum, which is the feeling that even though we are still grieving and torn apart, we are heading in the right direction. We are on the road. Let me ask you this. Are you headed in the right direction? When you consider your grief journey, are you headed in the right direction? Are you headed in the right direction? I wish I had a scale from 1 to 5 so you could tell me where you are. Are you stuck? Are you stalled? Are you stagnant? Have you stopped? Or are you headed in the right direction? Remember, small steps lead to great distances, right? For the individual that's trying to lose weight, I've seen be watching them shows, My 600 Pound Life and all that. They be trying to go to Dr. Now to get them surgeries, right? And and he's like, you need to do something. You need to exercise. He be telling them, y'all, it could be getting up and walking to the living room, walking to the front door, and walking back to their chair, right? It could be as small as that. They're getting up and walking to the front door and walking back to the chair. Whew, I worked out. And while some people will laugh at that, small steps lead to great distances. Because after they do that for a week, guess what? Now they're going to get up and they're going to walk to the front door. Now I'm going to open the door and I'm going to walk to the sidewalk. Walk to the sidewalk and I'm walking back. Now I'm walking to the mailbox and I'm walking back. And some people have done that. That's how they started. And by the time the show was over, they walking 2 and 3 and 4 miles, right? But it started with, I got to get up and walk to this front door, right? Small steps lead to great distances. And the question becomes, it's the question I'm asking, are you headed in the right direction? Are you headed in the right direction? Are you stalled? Are you stuck? Have you stopped? Are you stagnant? Or are you moving? Are you progressing? Are you going forward? Are you headed in the right direction? Are you headed in the right direction? Here it is. That feeling of momentum is, well, momentous. We experience a rush of hopefulness and purpose. We are surprised by its power. When it happens, we can pause and give thanks. We can celebrate our progress, however small. However small, I don't care. Y'all, small steps lead to great distances. Celebrate. Celebrate no matter how small the accomplishment is. Celebrate, right? It's progress. You're moving forward. We can also keep actively engaged in our grief. For like the initial push of a pendulum, it is this effort that perpetuates the momentum. Y'all, we experience a rush of hopefulness and purpose. We are surprised by its power. Celebrate. Celebrate. Small steps lead to great distances. Get in the game. Stay in the fight. Actively mourn. Don't remain stalled and stopped and stagnant. No, I need you to get some momentum on your side. In the midst of your tears, in the midst of your grief, you still torn apart, you're still hurting, but start the process. Get some momentum on your side. Look at the last thought of the day. I will be alert for divine momentum in my grief journey. And when I feel it, I will give thanks, celebrate, and keep working. I will be alert for divine momentum in my grief journey. And when I feel it, I will give thanks, celebrate, and keep working. Today is day 90, y'all. Y'all have got 90 grief coach sessions that didn't cost you. The only thing it cost you is your time. Today is day 90. I want to encourage y'all. Go back, check them out. Corey Duncan Sr., that is the YouTube channel. Go back, check them out when you get a chance. Feed yourself something good. 90 grief coaching sessions that are helping you navigate through your grief. Divine momentum. I hope and pray it's been a blessing to you. Come on, give me questions, comments, questions, anything. Holla at your boy. Questions. Nothing. There you go, Sonia. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. I love it. Are you headed in the right direction? Tiffany Cook, holla at me. As I walked out of the gym yesterday, there was a man in there struggling. I turned to him and said, small steps. Hey, Shaba, come on. Small steps lead to great distances. He smiled and said, thank you. I started yesterday. Girl, you better come on in here. You better come on in here. That's what I'm talking about. That's right. I love it. Small steps lead to great distances. Spread the word. Boy, you see this cheese on my face. Do you see this smile on my face? It becomes contagious. I love it. You get it in your spirit. Now you feeding other people. You getting them to understand. That is such a beautiful thing. That is such a beautiful thing. Oh, I'm happy. I'm excited. Oh, I'm happy. I'm excited. That's good. That is so good. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. Anybody else? Thank you so much for sharing. Comments. Where are you in your grief journey? Are you momentum? Do you have momentum? Are you stuck, stalled, stagnant? Are you moving forward? Do you got a great pace? Are you walking? Are you running? Are you are you stopped? Look, are you stuck, stalled, stagnant? Are you making small steps? Are you walking? Are you jogging? Are you running in your grief journey? Look, I done made up a scale for myself. I done made up a scale. Where are you? Where are you? Have a great day, Naila. Pastor Duncan, I had to let you know you are a beautiful pastor and a beautiful word this morning. Thank you. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. I ain't taking none of his credit. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But to God be the glory, because this is all him. And I am grateful and thankful for this opportunity. I'm walking it out. All right. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. East side walk it out. West side walk it out. I'm definitely making small steps. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I've been slowly moving forward. Come on. Slow progress is better than no progress. Let's get it. Last week I was stalled. I am moving forward slow. Yes. And I believe sometimes, that's going to happen. See ditto James. That's going to happen. Sometimes we get stalled. We could take 5 steps forward and 3 steps backwards, right? And we can stall for a minute. But the power and the importance is to keep moving, to get back in it. If you only knew how many saying, or even worse, you say, stick with me, pause for the cause. Yes, come on. Another favorite, Duncanism. We've been Duncanized, Carla. We've been Duncanized. What's funny is, y'all, Carla actually, she took the time, she wrote a bunch of my sayings down, and she put it in a book, like an actual printed book, and sent it to me, which totally blew my mind. And it was just a lot of my sayings, right? It was just a lot of the things that I've said over and over again. She put it in a book that blew my mind. And so, yes, Duncanized. Look, that blesses me. That is off the chain. That is off the chain. You need to know what's in that tea, girl. Ooh, that tea right there. Oh, a whole bunch of deliciousness. That's That's bromelain tea. And so I think I said it before in the other devotion. It's bromelain tea. And so what happens is you can it's bromelain tea. So you take a pineapple, you cut the skin off a pineapple, you put it in a pot, put some water in there, and you're boiling the pineapple skin. So you're boiling the pineapple skin. Um, it's pineapple, and then I put ginger in there and turmeric, ginger, turmeric, pineapple, and you boil that all together. You let it boil, come to a boil, pour water, let it boil, and then after it boils, you sift all of the stuff out, and boom, you got bromelain tea. Pour it into a container, and then every morning I just pour a cup. I pour a cup, I put a little bit more ginger in there, and I heat it up. I just like the burn of the ginger, and then I heat it up, and then I strain the ginger out, and then I put a little honey in there and some mint leaves in there. Bromelain tea. It has so many good health benefits. Bromelain tea. You got to check it out. You got to make it. It's super duper easy. Um, Tiffany Nicole, good morning. Yep, don't be embarrassed. Go to cohnd.org. Go to cohnd.org and fill out a form. Go to cohnd.org. Ruth Roseby, I'm chugging along. Small steps lead to great distances. That's it. That's what we do. That's what we do. Marissa Bailey, I'm making those small steps, celebrating along the way. That's what we do. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm taking small steps, but I'm moving. Praise God. That's it. Slow and steady wins the race. Run your race at your pace. Slow and steady wins the race. This is beautiful. Thank y'all so much for sharing. Look, we here. We in this thing. We locked in. If you have not yet already, make sure you join the Good Morning Grief Group Facebook page. Make sure you do that. Continue to stay locked in, y'all. We in this thing. Every step I take, I thank God for. Some days I run, others I walk. Absolutely, I feel that too. Some days I feel my strength. I got my help. I'm running. Some days I'm walking. Some days I'm crawling. Some days I might have to pause for the calls, right? I may be stuck for a hot second, but I'm going to keep on moving forward. So that's a beautiful thing. Pam Watts, still waiting to be accepted. Not no more, you ain't. Not no more. Not no more. We're going to take care of that right here, right now. Thank you for that reminder. Bam. It's a done deal. Oh, it's a done dollar. You accept it now. Come on. As rights and privileges as any other member. Act like an old school Baptist church. You have the rights and privileges of any other member. Thank you, grateful for one more day. One more day. I'm telling you, we take it one day at a time. Grateful and thankful for one more day. That's right. We in this thing. We in this thing. But look, y'all, hope y'all have a phenomenal Friday. I'm praying you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so very much for joining us, y'all. Continue to actively mourn. Actively mourn. We don't want to be stalled, stuck, stopped, and stagnant. You want to gain momentum. Take a small step. Small steps lead to great distances. So take a small step. Continue moving forward. And remember, I'm praying for you on your grief journey. I love you with the love of the Lord. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Let's go.
Good morning. Good morning.